I had free periods. Like, I don't know if any of you guys seniors or juniors. You're seniors. So you might have free periods. I know I had a lot of free periods. I would do my homework in school and get it done and turn it in the same day. And my mom's like, "Where's your book bag?" I already did it already. You know, it's done with. So get it done and get it right, obviously. And sports helps you to balance your time, to build relationships with so many different people, and teaches you responsibility and how to be a leader. You know, so if you're the captain on a team like I was, you got to pick guys up. Listen, man, I'm looking at the reports. Guys are in jeopardy of being ineligible. Well, this is a team. You made a commitment. You need to make sure you get your academics right. You can't play if you don't have those grades. So I might help them with their homework and say, listen, man, it might be different if your parent tell you, if I say, you need to go there because I'm not feeling it. You need to make sure you get your grades right. And guys will go and get it done. So it teaches you a lot. I mean, sports is great. I mean, whether sports, acting, or whatever you're into, it's great to meet different people and manage your time. Very important.
You ever found that school or work dropped your grades or made it harder to study?
Well, college when I had my son, that made it harder. But when I played sports, it actually did better. Are you playing sports?
Just baseball.
Oh, that's sport. So you do better when you play sports, you think? Or?
I guess it's just I think of it more of a break from school. Not really that athletic, but I play and it doesn't drop my grades or anything. But
right. My kids' grades were always higher in the semesters they played. And my son played all 3 semesters, but my daughter played only fall and spring. And her grades in winter, when she wasn't playing, were always just a little bit lower. Because she kept thinking, oh, I have lots of time.
Exactly.
Right? I have tons of time to do it.
So I agree with that. I definitely manage my time better when I play sports. And working too, you know, I had a job, 16 hours working, making some money, and you know, if your parents or whoever they tell you, you know, you have to, if you want to do these things, you need to have this certain grades. So you definitely want to do that. You want to make money and do well in school. You have to manage your time.
It also sounds like you know how to motivate yourself and kind of reward yourself. Is that part of it? Do you?
Well, I mean, at that age, yes. I mean, I wanted my car. I got tired of waiting outside in the cold. Sometimes it's too cold out here. You know, so I saved up. I bought a car, and you know, I put stereo, everything. I went crazy with it. But you definitely want to. You know, I was staying up. I remember one night I stayed up, and man, I was running his bottle in the sink. The water's so hot out here. And I went to lay down, and the water just overflowed. I was so tired. I was working, you know what I'm saying? I was working 2 jobs and going to school full time. You know, sometimes, man, I don't know. I take a semester off. Worst thing you can do. I take a semester off, and then my mom kept pushing me. No, you're not. You did this. You're gonna man up. You're gonna do it. And I thank God for that, because if you take a semester off, it's hard to go back. So it's gonna get tough. You might want to quit, but stick with it. You know, especially if you have people that can help you, and you know, family will watch my son if I needed it, or come over and, you know, give me that break I needed. So I definitely felt that way.
So some of the things you drew on were your family, sports, the healthy competition you're talking about, life experiences. You tried to understand what was going on and use them to motivate you.
Most definitely. Yeah. You don't want to be a statistic, you know. You want to be different than what everybody else is doing. You know, we say, oh, I hear a lot of guys say I'm a product of my environment, but I tell them, I came from the same place you came from. I went to public school, just like you. You chose to sell drugs, and I chose to go to college. So it always kills me when I go back home and they say, oh man, you made it out the hood. So what do you mean? Like, we could have made the same choices. You chose to do that. You know, I'm just like you. I put my pants on just like you. I'm not the most smartest guy in the world. You know, I read and I know what I know, but that's really it. So it's all about choices, and you have a choice to do the right thing or the wrong. It's as simple as that, you know.
But was there anything I'm sorry, I keep asking my questions, but he's interviewed me, so we're just, right, I'm interviewing him. Was there anything that you thought that teachers in high school could have done differently that would have been helpful either to you or to your friends, to the people who were making those bad choices?
I think they could have. They could try to listen to them more. I think sometimes you try to talk too much and not just listen. Say, you know, what's going on. Don't act like you know what somebody's going through, because you really don't know. So listen, well, how come you're not doing the work? Because I know guys that would get 100 on the test, not study, but not do their homework. And to me, it always killed me. Like, you know, and I don't know about now, but when I went to school, homework was 65% of your grade. So if you did homework, I didn't have to take a test. I could still pass with a 65. I'm not condoning that. You know? But if they would have done this, they would have got an 80 or 90, and I couldn't understand it.
Right.
The teachers, they would just be quiet, sit in the back of the class, but try to talk to them and challenge them, but in a way they would respond. Don't try to talk down to them or act like they're outcasts, because they may have lost a parent or both or whatever, group home system, whatever it is. You know, maybe just try to listen to them, see what they're going through. You don't have to coddle or baby them, but just listen to them for a change. You know, and that might help.
Is there a teacher that you remember that you hated in high school that you now feel thankful because they were in your life at one point? Because I know a lot of the kids hate certain teachers, and then turn out to be those are the teachers that made a difference in your life.
I had one, he said he's in biology, my biology teacher, Miss Weaver. She, like, where I come from, there's so many Jones, I'm a Jones, so she taught my father, my cousin, everybody. And she's always was tougher on me than everybody else. You know, back then, if you want to wear your hat or do-rag, whatever, just take that off. Just everybody else can wear it, I can't. Or, you know, she would say, I'm going to call your mom. And she would really call my mom during class. I'm like, what are you doing? Why would she call my mom? You know, so she was always tough on me, and I hated that. But now I look at it, she helped me get the Negro Scholarship Fund. She, recommendation letters, you know, everything. Really checking on me. When my mom passed away, she came by and showed support. So I didn't like her then, and I couldn't stand her, but now I see what she was doing, because she saw the potential in me, and she was pushing me harder. So that's an example. That's the answer to that question. You got a question on it?
Did you ever have like a biased teacher, or was it always just like the same?
Biased? What do you mean? Like always on my side, or
like against me?
Against me? Yeah, I did have one teacher like that. This was this history teacher, right? I was in 11th grade history, AD or AP. It was the higher end class, but it was boring to me because I just knew it. He would like give it to you. You had to read it. He would do it on a projector, talk about it, all the same information. I'm like, man, this is so boring. And I was getting a 90 average, but I was sleeping in class a lot. He's like, how you doing this? You know, I was like, it's too easy for me. To me, I thought the regular classes were harder than the AP classes, me personally. So one day he like cursed at me or something. I was like, who are you talking to? I called my father, you know what I mean? And from that day, I would not talk to him. He tried to apologize, and you know, I don't hold grudges. Now, if I see it now, I say, how you doing? But I couldn't stand him. I always felt he was picking on me. He was like, oh, why don't you go back to regular honors? I'm like, no, because I'm excelling here. But I couldn't stand him, man. I really couldn't. You know, I always felt like he was picking on me. Whether I was an athlete or whatever, I don't know what his problem was. I never said anything wrong to him. But I couldn't stand that, man. I couldn't stand it. Do you have teachers like that? Or I guess you can't say you got teachers.
I have one.
How'd you deal with it?
Year ended, so he left.
So you were done with it.
Everything got good.
We've been talking a lot about issues of race and class and ethnicity. Did you ever feel that any of those factors in your life were that teachers responded to differently, or that they were presented extra challenges?
Well, in the AP classes, I was only like sometimes the only black person or one of two.
Right.
So it was challenging. They would always like try to put us together. I'm like,
Right.
why do I always have to be with a black person, brother? So that was a little different. But all my other teachers were pretty nice to me, and they challenged me like everybody else. I didn't feel like I was the outcast. But in that class, I felt like an outcast. That history teacher I was talking about. So you may be in those classes, you may be the only person, like you, but you want to represent, I guess, and do the best you can.
That's one advantage, right? You don't. Your school is not quite like that. Right? All your classes are diverse. All your classes are. I mean, those of you who were in Rosewood, do you ever have the experience of being the only person of color in your honors class?
Mostly people of color.
Right, because your school is, when we look at the numbers, we'll see. I mean, I think, like I told you, my kids went to a grammar school where there were 11. white kids in the whole school. So, you know.
Yeah, no, that's why you count them with you both, maybe with just one hand.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Nike was probably like 60, 40, 70, 30, white to black.
Mhm.
So, I mean, like I said, I saw a few Spanish. I didn't see many
Yeah.
Asian. And
Yeah.
things
It's
like
very,
that.
it's